Okay, guys, I'm going to begin the class. So the format of the class is as usual as for those who are joining in for the first time for my sessions. Uh, I'll be discussing some problems related to this particular week five's uh, topics, and I'll first give you guys some time to solve the problem. Following which I'll discuss the problem in detail. Uh, so what the format of my classes is that whatever doubts you have, you can put it in the chat box. I will not be enabling. I have disabled the mic for everybody. Uh, okay, so let's get started. The topic from that week 5's topic is recursion. So this is a slightly, it can be confusing in initially recursion. So let's solve a few problems and get a hang of this. So I have this particular question for you guys. Write a program in C to input a sentence and a character. The program should check for the number of occurrences of the character in the sentence. Solve this problem using recursion. So we have done this problem last week. For those who have attended my session last week, you know that we have solved a similar problem. I want you guys to solve this problem using recursion. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and discuss the solution with you. So, for example, here I'm entering a sentence and terminate the sentence by clicking enter. So my name is Anurag Gupta is the sentence that I've entered. Then I'm entering a character whose number of occurrences you want to find in the sentence just entered. So I'm entering a character A. Now the program using recursion will find the number of occurrences of A in this particular sentence. So in this particular sentence, the letter A occurs 4 times. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is what you need to solve. I'll give you guys 15 to 20 minutes to solve this, uh, and then I'll discuss the solution. So please solve this using recursion. You can go back to the previous class's solution to get the basic part of how this is being input by the user. So let me just run the code and show you. See, I'm entering, let's say, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, okay, and Z. This is the input that I'm giving. Now I want to find the number of occurrences of the character A in this. So the number of occurrences of A is 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my program works. So this is what you need to do, but you need to solve it using recursion. So you can get started. Once you get the hang of this, it's very simple after that. It might be slightly confusing initially. Let me just mute myself. So I hope my screen is visible. You guys can just respond yes or no. I hope my screen was visible and my voice is audible. You can just respond yes or no in the chat box. Okay, okay. Fine. So you guys might find this problem slightly challenging, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you need to attempt, even if you don't get it right in the first instance. Anyways, I'm going to discuss this problem. So you should try and if anybody solves it, you should try. Maybe you can share your screen and show me the solution after you're done. So there's still some more time. You guys can continue to solve it. So Akansha has posted her solution. So Akansha, does this? Have you executed this on your this thing on your laptop? Does this work? Yeah. So Akansha has also posted her logic. Uh, yes. So yeah, Akansha, your logic is also correct, and your approach is also correct. That's good. Were you able to execute this on your laptop or desktop and get the output? Yeah, so this is one approach. Also, what I was also looking for was first you input the character, you input the sentence altogether, then you input the character. After you do that, then you check in that string. Uh, Perhaps I didn't mention that explicitly, but Akansha's solution also seems to be correct. Okay, let's wait for the others also. So I hope you guys are able to hear me. What about the others? Were you able to attempt? Were you guys able to attempt this? Ajit, Suraj, Mohammed Moshin. Were you guys able to attempt this? I'll give you guys another 5 minutes and then I'll discuss the problem. Okay, so Naka Naka has posted his solution. So I think Naka solution is also correct, but I want you guys to solve this using recursion. Since week five's topic is recursion, uh, I thought um, whatever questions we'll be discussing in this class will be only through recursion. But I appreciate your attempt to solve this Naka. Uh, so Naka has posted his solution, which I think is more or less correct. But I want you guys to solve this using recursion. Ajit has told I have doubt that how to make program in recursion. Ajit, I'm not sure if you have watched this week's video, but the professor has explained the basics of recursion in week five, if I'm not wrong. Uh, so you might have to go through those videos to get an idea. Then somebody else, Sanjeet, is asking about sample question paper. I'm not sure about this sample question paper, Sanjeet. Maybe you can directly ask on the forum or email the professor because I'm not involved with the setting of the question paper. I'm just here to discuss some questions uh, which related to this particular week's content. Okay. If anybody has any questions, you can post it on the chat box. Okay, so let's discuss. Uh, Somebody had GPK. So Murli is asking me about exams. So I'm not sure, Murli. Like I said, I'm not involved with the admin related questions related part of this course. Uh, I'm uh, uh, I'm part of I'm taking these live sessions as part of the PMRF, my PMRF deliverables. So I am not related to the professor also. I've never met him also. So you'll have to ask directly in the chat box in the forum or directly mail the professor regarding this because I'm not involved with setting the question paper and other things. Okay. Uh, okay, guys. Do you want some more time or shall I directly discuss the my solution? Okay, Sahil wants some more. What about the others? Yeah, Kansha is telling me to please go ahead. Okay, Sahil, for the sake of time, I'll go ahead and discuss the question and you can try and solve it. You can try and follow the solution and then, uh, okay, Yashwant is also saying. Okay, okay, guys, I'll go ahead and solve this. So my approach is slightly different to Akansha's. So Akansha's logic was also correct. Uh, Akansha's logic was also correct. I went through her logic, which seemed more or less correct. But I have solved this slightly differently. Uh, so I'll go ahead and discuss the solution, and I'll also explain why and how it works like that. So what I'm doing here is, let me adjust my laptop. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is, first I'm creating an input string. This part, the part till here is similar to the previous week's problem. So previously I had also discussed previous week I had also discussed the same problem. Previous week I had also discussed the same problem, but only difference here is here I'm using recursion. So first I'm creating an input string, okay, to store the input string array to store the input from the user, the input sentence from the user, and I'm also creating a variable called length, which will store the length of the input string, input sentence. That is the number of characters. Okay. Then what I'm doing here is in this particular part, I am inputting the sentence, and when I encounter a backslash n, which means the user has pressed enter, I go out of the loop. Okay, and I'm also updating every time I'm inputting a particular character. I'm incrementing the value of len. So in that way, I get the total length of the input string. Okay. Now I take one more input, which is, and print onto the console, enter a character whose number of occurrences you want to find in the sentence just entered. Okay, and then I take one more user input, which is the character that the user wants to check how many occurrences of this character is there in the uh, sentence that the user just inputted. Okay. Uh, then, for those of you who saw in the previous lectures, will know what this is. I'm putting a null character. I'm appending a null character at the end of the input string, so that when I print it, it will automatically print until this null character. Okay. So here what I'm doing is the number of occurrences of the character in the string, input string, are. Okay. And here what I'm doing is I'm calling a function called occurrence count. To this occurrence count, I'm passing the input string array. I'm passing the character uh, whose this thing the character whose occurrence I want to check in the input string, and as well as I'm sending the length of the string. Okay. So we know that, let me just go, we know that if I just send input string, it will send the address, the starting location of this input string array to this function. So let me now go to the function. Okay. Now what I'm doing is, so this particular function accepts an input string, accepts a character string, it accepts a character, and it accepts an integer value. So I'm passing in the address of the string, of the input string, and here then I'm passing in the character that I want to find in this input string, and I'm passing in the length. Now what I'm doing is I'm checking if n is equal to 0. That is, if the length of the input string is equal to 0. If it is 0, then I'm returning 0. Okay. Otherwise, I'm checking if in the first character of the input string, if it is equal to the character find occurrences, then what I'm doing is return 1 plus occurrence count. Okay, and again 1 plus, and again I'm calling the function. Okay, I'm again calling the function. So this is the recursion part. I'm calling the function, and what am I passing? I'm passing the location of the array, but not the first value. I'm not passing the address of the first element of the input string. I'm passing the address of the second element. That is why I'm doing in string plus 1. Okay. And then again I'm sending the same value because this is what I want to check, find occurrences, and I'm reducing the length of the array by 1, n minus 1, because you can see here that I'm my new array that I'm passing in starts from, I'm removing the first element because that has already been checked, right? So my length also decreases by 1. Okay, if it is not found, what I'm doing is I'm doing return 0 plus occurrence count, and again the same thing. Now I'll go ahead and explain how this works. Okay, I'll do a dry run of this so that it becomes clear. So this is a slightly complicated topic, but the more you solve problems using recursion, the easier it gets. Okay. So let me assume a dummy input A, B, A, B, and I want to find the character B, the number of times B occurs in this. So this is my input. So first what I do is, if you go back to the code, the first time this particular character is this function is called is here, occurrence count. Okay, so what do I send in occurrence count? Let me in occurrence count. So my in string is A B A B. Okay, and my find occurrences is B, and my length is 4, right? Length of the string is 4. So what happens first? First this gets called occurrence count, and I'm passing in these values. So I'm passing in the location or the address of this particular, the first element of this array. So that I'll denote like this. A, I'll denote like this. So this is what is being passed. The address of this is being passed. Then I'm passing in B. Then I'm passing in 4. Now once I go in, I check. Here 4 is n, right? So is 4 equal to 0? No, it's not equal to 0. So it comes here. Now it checks if in string of 0 is A equal to B, right? Is equal to find occurrences. Find occurrences is B, and in string of 0, that is this particular location, is A. A is not equal to B. So what does it do? It does return 0 plus occurrence count in string plus 1, again this. So let me show what happens. So it does this, return 0 plus occurrence count. Okay, but now just look at this, in string plus 1. What is in string? AB plus. So here when I just use the name in of the array in string, then that refers to the address. It refers to the address of the first element of the array. And if I do plus 1, now it refers to the address of the second element of the array. So now I'm passing in this address. Okay, then I'm passing in again find occurrences, which is B, and I'm passing in n minus 1, which is 3, right? Now here it again, since this is called, so 0 plus occurrence count. So this particular function is called again. So now the execution goes back and checks is n equal to 0. So here I passed in 3. 3 is equal to 0. No. So now it checks if in string. So my new string, my new array is BAB, right? And the first element is B. So is B is equal to B? Yes, B is equal to B. So what does it do? It does this. This function returns 1 plus, so it returns 1 plus, again I'm calling this function, okay, occurrence count, and what am I passing in string plus 1. So my in string is BAB, now plus 1, so I'm pointing to this particular location of A. So this is the array that I'm passing. Now I'm passing in B, find occurrences is B, the character B, and n minus 1, which is 2. Okay, so this is what is being passed. So now again this particular function is being returned, is being called. Okay, now I'll check uh, is n equal to 0. No, n is equal to 2. 2 is not equal to 0, so it skips this. It comes if in string of 0. So the first element of the array that is passed, is AB. Is A equal to, find occurrences here is B? No, it is not. So it goes and executes this line. It does return 0 plus occurrence count. So 0 plus occurrence count, and now in string plus 1. What is in string plus 1? B, right? B. And then B is the find occurrences. This is what I'm passing in. And I'm passing in n minus 1, which is 1. So what does it do? What does it do here? It again calls this function and it checks is n equal to 0? No. N is 1 is equal to 0? No. So it skips this. Now it checks in string. In string of 0. In string of 0 is B here, right? Because the array that is passed in is B, and it is an array of only one element, and the first element itself is B. So is B is equal to find occurrences? Yes, B is equal to B. So it executes this line of code, this particular line. So it does return 1 plus, it again calls the function occurrence count. One second. Not much space here. It again calls a function occurrence count, but now it points to in string plus 1. So a location B plus 1. Okay, that is actually an unknown location. We don't know what data is stored in that, but it passes in that address. So some unknown location is passed in this time. Then B is passed in. Okay, find occurrences is B. Then I am passing in n minus 1, which is 0. Okay, so now again it goes here and it checks. It checks here is n equal to 0. Here n is equal to 0, so it returns 0. Okay, so here the value that is returned is 0. Let me use another color. So value that is returned here is 0, right? Now 0 is returned. Now 1 plus 0, right? There is, it'll add. Now the program adds 1 plus 0. So now 1 is returned to this particular function call. So here the value 1 is returned. But here if you see 0 plus 1 is being added. So again the value 0 plus 1 is returned here to this particular function call. So the value 1 is returned. Now it's saying return 1 plus 1, right? So the value 2 is returned here to this particular function call. So it is returning 1 plus 1, 2. Now it is adding 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. And it is returning this value to the first function call. The first function call happened here, right? First function called happened here. This was the first function call, occurrence count. So the value 2 is returned here. The integer value 2 is returned. And that is what is printed. So that is how this particular recursion works. I hope you guys got an idea. It's a slightly complicated topic, but since I dry run the code here, maybe you got an idea of how this works. So, okay, a lot of people are posting. Somebody says, "Sir, please solve it." So, see how to solve problem. So, Sudhit, you need to watch the lectures from the beginning to solve this problem. You need to watch the professor's lectures, and only then you can, from the beginning, to solve the solutions. Okay. So my basic understanding here is that you guys have watched week 5's videos and all the videos prior to that. Only then you will be able to follow what I'm teaching from the current in the current session. Okay, somebody has posted the solution. Some part was not copied. Sahil is in. Nishant Wale is saying, because I just joined. Nishant, I'll also be recording these videos so you can watch the recording. For the benefit of others, I'll continue with the session because again repeating the same thing that I explained will be a waste of time for the other people who have already attended this particular session from the starting. Yeah, there is a limit, Sahil. So I have in my particular code, I have first created a input string of 100, and what I'm doing is I'll keep taking in values either when the user presses enter or if the length becomes becomes 100, because if I take more than that then it will exceed the size of the array that I created. So it depends on the array that you're the size of the array that you're creating. Then what else? Who else is asking? Nishant Wale is telling I'm not getting anything that you're saying. Yeah, Nishant, I think you joined in from between. That is why you're not able to follow. But I hope the others who were following from the beginning were able to get some idea of what is going on. Akansha and Sahil and others. I hope you were able to get some idea of what is happening. Class recording is provided if you log into the course, you will get the class recording. It's in the tab in the bottommost section of the tab. Okay. So, sh shall we continue with the class? I'm not getting any response from. Okay, Sahil is saying yes. What about the others? Ashok, Ab Abarajitha, Akansha, Aryan, Vivek. What about you guys? Okay. Okay, guys, I'll continue. If you have any doubt, not sure what Naka is asking, but the recursion loop run for 100 times. No, sir. No, no, Naka. My recursion loop will not run for 100 times. I am only taking my input first here. After I take the input, my recursion actually starts from here. My recursion starts from here. I have already taken in the input. After I have taken in the input, stored the input, then on that input, I am doing, I'm storing it in an array and then I'm passing that array into a function. And the length of the function, if you see, I'm also passing in the length of the array, of the input, not the array. So here len means length of the input, the number of characters, not the length of the array itself. So you can see here, every time I'm inputting a character, I'm increasing the length by 1. Okay. So if you guys had any doubts, please ask me. Uh, Otherwise, I'll proceed. I'll assume that Murli is, hello sir, is that MATLAB? No, Murli, this is Visual Studio. Yeah, yeah, correct. Naka. Okay, I'll go on to the next question. No, I'll share this code with you. Please, first I will share this particular function. Try and run this. This is part 1 because the next problem is linked to this particular question. Okay, so this is the first part. Let me share the second part. Okay, so I've shared my code in 3 parts. You can try and run this. My the second question is related to this particular question. So you will need this code. So let me go to the second question. So in addition to the previous problem, make appropriate modifications to the function such that the function stores the locations of the occurrences of the character in the input sentence in another array and prints that these locations onto the console. Okay. So the same function, what you have to do is the location also needs to be stored of the input, so of the occurrences. So you can see here, my name is Anurag Gupta. The number of occurrences are 4. The location of these occurrences are 5, 12, 16, and 23. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the fifth character here is A. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, the 12th character here is again A, and so on. So you need to uh, store the occurrences in an array and then finally print it. So again, you can take 10 minutes to solve this, and then I'll discuss the solution. So it's 6:57. We'll meet at 7:07. So this is an extension of the previous code. I hope you are able to understand. So you don't need to change the previous code by much. You just need to modify it. Time 10 minutes. So let's meet in 10 minutes. So Sahil has posted his solution. Uh, so I'm not sure. Were you able to execute this on PC, Sahil? Because it will be hard for me to uh, run through the entire code immediately. Okay, Sahil is saying it works. Good, good, Sahil. Although this is not done using recursion, but uh, I think your logic is correct. So Akansha has also posted her solution. Okay, it has in the read correct. Okay, okay, Sahil. Good, good, good. I think I missed that. So yeah, Sahil and Akansha are quite active. That's good. Akansha has made modifications to her own program only. That is fine, Akansha. That is perfectly all right. Because it won't be easy to understand my code and then make modifications to my code. But what you guys can do is afterwards you can also try and see how I have solved it, so that you get a different perspective. So many problems, the same problems can be solved in different ways. Uh, and if you look at it from a different way, you might get different understanding also. So I'm glad that you guys are solving the problems and responding. I'm getting some hiccups, so sorry for the uh, noise noises in between. So I'll go ahead and also discuss my solution. I hope the others are fine with that. Shall I go ahead and discuss my solution? Kindly let me know. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'll go ahead and discuss my solution. Uh, okay. So let me just run this program. Let me enter some random numbers. Now let me enter J. The number of occurrences of J in the string are 8, and they are at the locations 1, 5, 6, 9, 11, 14, 18, and 17. Let me see 1. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9 is there. 10, 11. Okay, so this program works. Now let me discuss the solution. So here what I'm doing is the modification that I've made here is before I was taking an input string, I was also taking in the character. So this was the input string that the user had entered. This was the character that the user wants to find, and this is the length of the input string. Now what I'm doing is I'm sending one more string. Sorry, one more. Let me go here. So I'm creating one more. Where is this? Yeah, I'm creating one more string here called int occurrence location. Okay. So this will store the location of the occurrences of the string, and I'm again sending the length of the array of the input string itself. Okay. So we know that uh, len here is the length of the number of characters input by the user. So I'm again sending that. So this is the additional two. I'm having additional two inputs into the string. Now what I'm doing here is uh, so the program remains the same. Here I'm till here everything remains the same. Again, what I do is if I find the character, uh, if I find the if I find the character, what I do is in this array that I've sent this array, what the zeroth location of the array, I uh, make the calculation. So length is, I know the length of the array. Let's say the length of the array, I've inputted 4 characters. So I input 4 minus n. N here is uh, so every time I check a character, I decrease the I do n minus 1, right? So let me just dry run this part so that it becomes clear. So here basically uh, n minus 1 means the remaining number of characters that I need to check, and plus 1 means, okay, let me just dry run it so that it becomes easier to understand. Okay, so we are only going to discuss this part. I won't dry run everything. I'll just dry run the first part so that the working of this becomes clear. So let's say I input A B, and I want to find B, and let's say I want to find A now. Okay, and the length is 4 here. So the first time I call this particular function, occurrence count, I send in the location of this particular, the first element of the array. I send in A, I send in 4, I send in the uh, location of the first element of this particular array, and I send in the length again. Now what I do is I check here if n is equal to 0. No, then I don't return 0. Now I check if in string of 0, that is if a is equal to a, yes, it is equal to a. So what does it do? Location of 0. In the first element of this particular array, I store in the value 4, 4 minus length is 4 minus 4, n is also 4 here. You can see here n. 4 minus 4 plus 1 is equal to 1, right? So in this array called location, the first element is 1. The value is 1 here. So this is the location we can see here, right? The first element, the location of A is the first element. Similarly, if I go to, if I keep doing this, this logic will work. So uh, let's say I reach this particular part, right? Then it will be length is 4 minus 3, uh, minus it will be minus 2 plus 1. So you guys can actually run this and you'll realize that this works. So then 3 will be stored for this particular, and we can see that the third element is A. If you want me to dry run this entire thing, I can do it. Let me know. Or maybe you can go through this part and understand it yourselves. So uh, this is just a minor modification to the previous code. So let me just share this code with you guys. Sorry for the hiccups. I'm not able to control it. Okay, so the next question, whatever doubts you guys have, you can post it in the chat box and I'll respond to it. Palak Sharma and others also. So let's go on to the next question. Uh, the next question is very easy. It's probably the easiest uh, in this class. Okay, uh, but the fourth question will use the third question. So you need to solve it. So the question is as follows: write a program in C to accept a positive integer from the user and calculate the factorial of that number. Use recursion to achieve this. This is very simple, but I want you to still go ahead and solve this. If you understood the concept of recursion till now, you will understand this. You will easily be able to solve this. So again, I'll give you guys maybe 10 minutes to solve this. Please take your time and solve it. So 17, we'll meet at 27. So if you guys have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. I'll try and respond to it. So you might not completely get uh, the what I'm saying here, but you might have to rewatch the recorded lecture again to understand, because this is not a recursion is not a very straightforward topic to understand in the first instance. But once you get the hang of it, it is quite simple. Okay, so let's meet after 10 minutes. Let's have a look. I work out the assignment for between all input cases passed and shown you have 100 marks. But I go to check the assignment review, so it shows no peer assignment. Jesuri, I'm not sure about this. Like I already told that I don't know anything regarding assignments, question paper. I'm not the guy because I don't have any idea about I'm not involved in setting the question paper or the assignments. So you can, or any admin related queries, you can directly post it on the forum or mail the professor regarding this. In fact, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Akansha is correct. Akansha got the basic logic correct. That's correct. Okay, yeah, this is also correct. Good, good. Jatin also got it. What can I do? Why do this? Any problem coming here? So I'm solving these problems to understand so that you guys can get an understanding of more in-depth understanding of the solutions of what kind of the more problems you solve, Jasurya, the more deeper your understanding will be there. And the professor on online the for the course can only solve so many problems. He can only solve one or two. In this live session, the idea is that we come together and solve more problems and we get a deeper understanding. That's the whole idea of this, the live sessions. Okay. Yeah. Satvik also. Yeah. This is also correct, but Sibaka. But I want you to solve this using recursion. Wait. I think you have solved it. Is it? Yeah, you have solved it using recursion. Let me see what you have done. Fact is equal to fact into this. I'm not sure whether this is completely correct. Okay, so many of you have posted the solution. Practice manual. Uh, Joel, actually, if you go online, I just type uh, sample problems for sample problems or sample programs for C. You will get many. You will get hundreds of problems. You can just pick a few and you can start solving. So that is the best way according to me, even better than textbook. Okay, so you guys have got the logic correct, many of you. Anyways, for the benefit of everybody, go ahead and discuss the solution. Let me open. So yeah, I've in my main function I'm inputting a value n, then I'm calling that function, and I check whether num is equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, I return 1. Else, I do num into, and then I again call the function, but I decrement the value of num. The value that I'm passing in is num minus 1. So let me just Windows Shift S. I'm only getting this part of the code here. Let me go ahead and explain this. So first I call the function here, and let's say pass in the value 4. Let's say I pass in the value 3, fact 3. Okay. Now start thinking. I pass in fact 3 is 3, that is num is equal to 1. The value that I'm passing in initially is 3. So is 3 equal to 1? No. So then what I do is I return. What do I return? I return 3 into factorial of 2. I pass in 2. Now I again this function is called, right? Factorial of 2. So it goes in, it checks is 2 equal to 1. No. So it return num into, so the num was 2, right? 2 into factorial of num minus 1, factorial of 1. So now again this function is called factorial. It goes in, the value that is passed in is 1. I hope my mic is unmuted. Yes, my mic is unmuted. Okay. Is 1 num 1 equal to 1? Yes. So I return 1. So I return 1. So the value 1 is returned here, right? So 1 is returned. So 2 into 1. So this particular part will return 2 into 1. It will return 2 into 1. Where does it return 2 into 1? It returns it here, right? It returns it here. 2 into 1 is returned here. And what does this return? 3 into 2 into 1. 3 into 2 into 1 is returned to this, the first call of the function. The first call of the function is here. So 3 into 2 into 1 is returned. That is the factorial of 3, right? So the value 6 is returned. Let me run this. Wait. So the factorial of 3 is 6. So that is how this particular code works. Okay. So let me just share this code with you guys, because the next part involves this. The next question requires this. So to solve the next question, you should understand what I have, all the first three problems that I've solved until now. If you know the first problem, then you'll be able to solve this first and third problem. You'll be able to solve this. Okay. Write a program in C to accept a positive integer number n from the user and calculate the solution to the following series using recursion. So you need to calculate the solution to this particular series, right? So in this particular case, I've entered the value 5. So only this part till here I will calculate. So you need to solve this using recursion. That's the important part. This anybody can solve easily, but I need to solve it using recursion. So again, I'll give you guys around uh, 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'll give you guys 10 minutes and then we'll look at the solution. So it's 37, let's meet at 47 and then we'll discuss the solution. So please try and attempt this particular problem. I work out the assignment 4th and 5th week, sir. Okay. Oh, some of you have posted your solutions. Satvik has posted a solution. Okay, series n. Okay, int fact I plus series I minus 1. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think this is not sure. I hope you ran this and checked, Satvik. Logic kind of seems to be correct. Here you are making it float. Okay, yeah. By fact n minus 1. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, you guys are approaching it in different ways. That seems to be good. I mean, it's good. Okay, Satvik is saying, Jasurya is asking me something. I don't know, Jasurya. Regarding assignment submission and these kind of problems, I'm not the guy to ask. Like I already told, you need to ask. You need to directly meet the professor regarding this, uh, or post it on the forum. I'm not able to understand completely what you're asking. It's working, okay. Satvik, yeah. Akansha has also posted the solution. Yeah, good. I mean, some of you guys are really active. I'll go ahead and discuss the solution now. Uh, so let me just open up my answer. So what I'm doing here is Windows Shift S. So the factorial problem remains the same. Only thing is I'm returning a float. Instead of an int, I'm returning a float because we are dealing with floats now. So let me just discuss this particular part of the solution only. So I have solved it slightly differently, but that doesn't mean that uh, what you guys have posted the solution that is wrong. It doesn't mean that. We can approach the same problem in different ways. I've approached it in a slightly different way. My might slightly be more complicated, but uh, it will give you a general idea of how recursion works. So let's say I taken an input from the user. That input is float n. Let's say I taken an input of 3. Then what I do is I've created this function called series. I pass in this value of 3 and I pass in a value of 1 along with it. Okay. So this function that I've created accepts two values. It accepts the number n, which is input by the user, and it accepts the value int count, and int count another integer, and this value is 1 that I'm listing. So first, when I call series, I pass in the value. Let's say the user inputs 3. I pass in 3 comma 1. Okay, now it goes here and starts to execute. Is count, is 1 greater than 3? No. So else I do return 1 divided by factorial of count. My count is 1, right? Count is 1. So 1 by 1 factorial. Factorial will get calculated using this particular function that I have created, which we discussed in the previous, plus series of num2. Num2 is again 3, comma count plus 1. What is count plus 1? 2, right? So this is what I send. So now this particular function gets called. Okay, so it goes in with the value 3 and 2. So is 2 greater than 3? Count. So I've passed in 2. Is 2 greater than 3? No. So it doesn't return 0, it returns this. So I do this. Return 1 divided by factorial of count. Count is 2, right? I passed in 2. 2 factorial plus series of num2 is 3 and count is 2. 2 plus 1, 3. I send in 3. Okay. Now it again calls this function and it checks, is 3 greater than 3? No. So it doesn't return 0. It does this. Okay. It does this. Let me just erase this. So it does return 1 divided by factorial of count. What is my count here? 3 factorial, right? 3 plus, again it does this series of 3 comma count plus 1, 4. Now what happens? It goes here, it checks 4. 4 is greater than num2, correct? So since 4 is greater than num2, it returns 0. So here what happens? Let me take another. The value that is returned here is, return value here is 1 3 factorial plus 0. Okay, this is returned. Where is it returned? It is returned here to this part. So now what does this part return? This returns 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 0. And where is this returned? It is returned to this part, right? So now this returns, this returns 1 divided by 1 factorial plus 1 divided by 2 factorial plus 1 divided by 3 factorial plus 0. And where is it returned? It is returned to the original calling function here. So now I go back and that value is returned to this particular part, right? So it calculates that and returns the value, a float value, and that is what is printed. So this is what I want to achieve. Yes, 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial is 1 only. So 1 plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial, that is what I'm getting, plus 0. So this is how this particular program works. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I had only these many questions to discuss. In case you had any difficulty understanding this, kindly let me know. Yes, 3 is not greater than 3. Exactly, it's not greater than 3. That is why it does not return 0. It does else. If 3 is greater, only when this value is greater does it return 0. Right? See here, I'm passing in this value. So what does it do? It returns 1 divided by 3 factorial plus, so it checks here, right? When I pass in 3 and 3, it checks here. Is 3 greater than 3? No, it's not greater than 3. So it does else and it executes this. Okay. So it executes this. So it does 1 by 3 factorial plus, again it calls series 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4 is, it goes here again. So 4 is is 4 greater than 3? Now I'm passing in 3 comma 4, right? Count is 4 and num2 is 3. 4 is greater than 3, yes, then it returns 0. Okay. Okay guys, let me know if you have any further doubts. Let me stop sharing my screen. Stop presenting. So if in case you don't have any doubts, we'll end this session today. Thank you very much for joining in and actively participating. It is my pleasure to interact with you all. So see you guys next week, next Friday. Bye. Thank you guys.